I'm calling this the success cycle, and it's really, really simple. Okay. It's these basically six steps and then one next one after that. My recommendation is within seconds after they finish doing the sign up with you, get them to forlifewave.com and start using the system so that they can get trained. So you've got onboarding, make a list, do an introductory call with someone on that list, text them and send them a video. I'm going to show you all this. Do a three-way text with the leader that you're working with and that person. Then do three-way call and ultimately enroll a new brand partner. So the first part of that, here is my application for lifewave.com. And I will do training on this so people can have, I've already done some, but I'll do some more training and I will also make sure the video for it is available, the recording on how to use the system. But this is going to give them everything they need to know to get the best patch experience. And they've got a 7-day free trial to use it. At the end of the free trial, on the eighth day, they will be given the option to not do anything anymore or do $20 a month, $200 annual, or $300 lifetime, which is by far the best, best value. So when they sign up for a free trial, they're going to see this message right here. Free trial ends in 7 days. But they're going to get a welcome video and then you're going to go to getting started and it just takes and walks you through each step. And today's experience is going to have emails and stuff like that, but you can actually see the emails that you're getting. You can see them in here as well. And then members will allow you to track. You can see this little thing right here, these different icons. And this one will actually allow you to click on it and you'll be able to see the activity of of your different members. So it'll go down to the next level and you can see, oh, I've got John who is signed up for the system. And if you click on this icon right here, you can see everybody that's in that. But then when you click on John's name, then you click on this document thing right here, it'll be able to show you what John has done as far as watching a video or joining Champion Makers in school and some of the different things like that. So those are all really key things. The next thing is making a list. And some of you have done this list exercise that I do. And basically, I took some of the list from This Is It team and a few other lists that I found, and I recorded them with my voice and I did it slow. And I just play that for my brand partner, and they listen and they write down the names that come to them. And we did this about 4 or 5 times, and we have somewhere over 500 names that my brand partners have come up with. So very, very excited about that. And I'll make those audio files available to anybody that wants to use them. If you want to get any of the materials from me, be kind of watching and making some mental notes as we're doing this today, and then email me at pat at ourlivewave.com. Pat at ourlivewave.com. Not LifeWave, but LiveWave. And I can get you some more information, including those audio files and other things. So the next thing is to do your first call. Now, this could be a call where you're going to introduce not only LifeWave, but you're going to introduce your leader, not on the call, but to the person. So you just call and basically say, hey, John, it's Pat. How's it going? Real quick, how much do you know about stem cells? And they'll tell you a little, a lot, something. Have you heard of self stem cell activation? And no one's going to say, yeah, I've heard of that. If they do, they either are in LifeWave or they've heard of something maybe that, that's similar or whatever as far as just stem cell activity in general. But then I just say, hey, it's when we cause and get that, it's we cause our inactive stem cells to basically wake up. And the body heals itself 100% naturally. Pretty cool, huh? And then they'll agree. And then, well, a friend's doctor introduced us to something that does just that, and nothing enters our bodies. I'm sending you a quick video, just 18 minutes, but if needed, just watch the first 10 or so. And then you say, okay, I'm sending it by text. Did you get it? They'll say yes, blah, blah, blah. And then you just say, hey, one of the doctors in the video is our friend who introduced this to our group, and the other was the practitioner of the year for the National Basketball Association. And he's treated hundreds of pro athletes. And then, then you say, hey, I'll be in touch. Let me know when you've watched it. Have a good day, that type of thing. The other thing with that is you can let them know in some cases, if you're going to connect them with a leader, that would be that next step. And that's what right here, this is something that we've been using. So we make our first contact and they're interested. We're going to send them the video, and this is the text that we send with the video link. And again, this is something that you can get, and you can say, hey, Pat, send me that text, please. My phone number, 501 605 6935. 501 605 6935. And I'll send you this. And I used it today, for example. Randy and I went on a radio show together, and I had one of the people that's text, we have them text a word to us and whatever. And then I said, here's our promise video. We believe it's for everyone, but you'll know if this is for you or not in the first 10 minutes. So interesting and life-changing. Enjoy. Can you watch at least the first 10 minutes quick? And they'll tell you yes, no, whatever. If they don't reply, you can kind of, reach back. But with us, these are people we've never met or anything. With people that you've already talked to, this is perfect. And you could put, here's my promised video, or however you want to do that. I believe this is for everyone, but you'll know in the first 10 minutes. Now, what this is this is a video of Dr. Duggar, an interview that he did. Randy shot this video, interview he did with me, and I trimmed quite a bit of it. And we've got the key pieces. Then I've got testimonies from my wife, my son, my daughter, and my son-in-law. And then I've got a good portion of the video with Dr. Torrey and Patty Glick. And so it's 18 minutes. But you start watching this video and it's like, holy cow, 10 minutes in, you feel like it's only been 3, 4 minutes. And key to it is that by that time, they've already seen enough to know what's going on, and it'll hook them. Then they'll watch the whole 18. Almost everybody will, I promise. And then after we do that, I send this. This is called the Post-it note text. These patches are not a miracle cure. They contain no medicine. They just reflect the light of our bodies and wake up sleeping stem cells. However, if you could have them do anything for you, what would it be? And then they tell you help with a specific health condition, relief from pain, more energy, better sleep, extra income would be nice. And I've had people say, for sure, probably I could use some help with my health. I've got some pain. Who couldn't use better energy? And yeah, I could use some extra income. Well, then what that does is that sets up my callback for them with them so that when I talk to them, I know how I want to lead. If they're talking about having some real health issues and they have no interest in talking to people about the business side of it or extra income or whatever, then I'm going to really approach the angle of something with a health condition. If they've got no health conditions, but they've got really bad pain and they need more energy, then I'm not going to talk about the health side of that. I'm going to talk about relief from pain and having more energy. So that's a really big thing. But this is really a powerful tool. And what I love the most about it, when I developed this, I thought, you know what? I want to come up with something that looks almost handwritten so it feels less salesy. And then after that, then I'm going to do a three-way text and introduce them to my leader. So, John Wilson, I want to introduce my friend Pat Davis, I was telling you about. He knows a lot about this and he really cares about people. Pat, meet John. And that opens the door. Then, as the leader, I can go, hey, John, great to meet you, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know what I would love to do? I'd like to find a time when the three of us could get on the phone and talk a little bit more. And at that point, if he hasn't seen that post-it note, I might send that over at that, then and kind of get an idea of what his thoughts are or whatever. And then you have your actual three-way call to introduce LifeWave. And you can see the first four things. Block time, 1 to 2 hours or more with your leader to make intro calls to your list. And so you can do a couple different things. And number four, it says, you can put the leader on hold and then call the first person and bring the leader on. Or you can just start calling people. You get someone and you can have the leader that's standing by, ready to jump on a call with you. So you block that time, text, then call your team leader, go over your list and pick the first person you're going to call. So you say your team leader is me, Pat. We're going to be calling my sister. But if you're calling somebody who is somebody's friend or something like that, then they're going to tell them a little bit more about that person, whatever. But if maybe it's your sister or whatever, that's a little bit different. So you're going to get your leader, you tell them a little bit about them, whatever. Then you're going to discuss the best approach for them. It could be, hey, these people have been in network marketing for years, or this person really is into the medical and into natural stuff. They're really knowledgeable about whatever. And you give that leader a bit of an overview. So I did a call yesterday with a guy, and when I got on the phone with him, I said, man, it's great to meet you. And so. Basically, by the way they talked about you, it sounds kind of like you maybe walk on water or kind of close to it. And I just am natural and I just have fun with it. And I make people laugh or just relax and whatever. Then the next thing you do is you play, if you have the leader on hold with you already when you go to make your first contact, then you let the person know, hey, I've got so and so, standing by, wanted to meet you. And if you don't mind, I'm going to bring them on real quick. And then if it's a good time, you can do that. You can bring them on and have them on hold, or you can just get the leader ready to go and then make your call, get somebody on, and then call the leader and bring them on. And then you've got a script, and this is a script that is good. You're going to say, hey, John, how's it going? And then, like me, you like helping people, if possible. So I just had to call you about something that has changed our family. So it's another front end script that you can use. I want to share this with you, but I wouldn't do it justice like my friend Pat Davis, Gracie Gonzalez, whoever it might be. And they're going to help me today with some calls, and they would like to meet you real quick. And you could say he, she, however you don't want to do that. And then just say, can I bring them on quick? And you're just asking for permission and it's respectful. And then the leader just takes over. So you don't have to do anything. So I've got people, and I think one of them's on here. I just tell them, all you got to do is go out, talk to a bunch of people, do your job, and do what you've got to do 40 hours a week and let us stand in there with you and help you build. So there's people who don't even have time to do three-way calls because of their schedule, or at least maybe not till they get home in the evening or whatever. But if we can get someone to introduce us to someone, then we can do a three-way text. And then after that, we can do an actual two-way call for that person, and they don't have to even be on. So, without getting into all the details of that, that's the script that I use with that. And here's some keys that are really important for three-way calls. The first is to share your testimony. And if you use this, and you have this like a printed off a screenshot whatever, and you have it on your desk or whatever, you can just look at it and go, okay, share testimonies. So this is what we do. We did a call, three-way call last night. Josh and I were watching the football game together. During halftime, we did a three-way call. I got my wife on and had her tell her story. I got Josh on and had him tell his story, and I told my own, and then maybe a few of other people's, but make it brief. Then I share the basics of the technology. Don't get into terms and technology and whatever else. All you got to do is say, this is called phototherapy. Basically, it's like when you go out and there's no vitamin D in the sun, but when you go out in the sun, it activates a peptide in your body and it causes the body to basically produce vitamin D. It's the same kind of thing. It's a light reflection that wakes up stem cells that are sleeping. And one thing I've been doing, I've been telling people, we did a booth at a Christmas show in Cabot this weekend, and the guy next to me was 31 years old in the booth next to me, and I was telling him, I said, I'm 67, and scientifically, I have more active stem cells now probably than you do. And that's pretty mind-boggling to people, but it's true because I've been using the patches now for 16 months or something like that. So the next thing you do when you're doing a three-way call, let the leader lead, resist talking unless you're asked. I've had some people I've done three-way calls with, and they dominate the call and they say a bunch of stuff that's not necessary and they confuse the person, or it just takes a whole lot more time. And when people are in a hurry, you want to make sure that doesn't happen. So just listen to the leader and let them lead, and you'll learn on what to do when you do your own three-way calls with people. And then as you're listening and learning, record your conversations. So get a recorder. You can get, some different kinds of recorders. I like the iFly Tech recorder. I got it online. You can get a basic one from Walmart. You can even use an old cell phone that has, the app on it to be able to record audio files and record when you are on and you're learning with your leaders. It really is very, very respectful to your leaders because they don't have to repeat things over and over. And you show the interest that you have in being really a good student. Also, take notes. That's another big thing. And then the next thing is to sign the prospect up for the best scenario, for them. And that can be situation where it's going to be the lowest cost or the best value. And I always start with best value and work my way down. So I'll say, you know what? If you're like me, I'm a value guy. I want to pay the least amount per item as I can. But I can't always do it. And it also depends on the cost of the item. But you know what? I know people that spend thousands of dollars on stem cell injections. You can't do that here. In fact, the most you can spend with shipping and everything is about $2,000. That's it. You can have your own franchise if you want and the whole nine yards, and you're talking around, that's the best value is that $2,000, it's $1,750 plus shipping and tax. And then if I say that's the best value, and I always recommend if people can do that, because I want you to look at this as not a try and see product. I want you to look at this as something that you use for 8 months, 9 months, a year. And our doctor that I was telling you about, Dr. Duggar, he recommends 12 months. The company recommends at least 1 month of use for every decade that we've been alive. But when you do that, you create value. And everything that you do that gives them benefits and whatever, you create value. If someone asks you how much it costs and you haven't shared anything else with them, I never give anybody that information. When I was selling health insurance, there was one time where a guy said, I need a quote. And he got offended because I wouldn't just give him a quote and he didn't give me any information. And I just told him, I've got a car. Do you want to buy it? It's only $1,000. Well, he's not going to know what he's going to get. You've got to build value. Could be that I had a Lamborghini that I was going to give him, right? Or it could be a $200 car. But if you can't build value, then you don't have the opportunity to be able to make a sale. And the fact is, my average sale is going to be higher than just about any other brand partner around me because of my passion and knowing that people have money to spend if it's going to be something that's going to be in their best interest. And a lot of people shy back from that. So they start out thinking, oh, maybe there'll only be, a preferred customer or maybe a core or whatever. And so I always start on the other end. But I also say, hey, sometimes people are in a situation where it's going to be the lowest cost to help them get going. But I let them tell me that. And that's really, really crucial. And then, of course, we have the sign up. And I love the new forms that they updated. It's got the Advanced Plus on there. And get that information. If you're signing up a lot of people, if you go to sign them up on a website, on your back office, and you have a glitch, I've had it happen many, many times. And it's not fun because all that information is lost. And so you are real well served to be able to use a form like this and write it down and keep a clipboard handy, keep them in your car, wherever. And then when you get back to your office or whatever, you can enroll people. And then here's the power of premium. This is a really cool thing. And I would just study this and get real good at it. This is on the This Is It team website on the downloads. And it's just very, very good. I mean, it shows you the value part. And you're going to run into a lot of people who do like to buy value. I mean, it's just that simple. So I'm going to stop sharing, but I just want you to see how simple it is. And that first slide where I had the color and all, that showed the different stages, it really is that simple. And you don't have to involve a leader at all. Okay? I think that Gracie's enrolled half of Little Rock, and I don't know that she's had a leader helping her along the way. She just knows what she wants to talk about. She's got a passion. She tells people this is what you need to do, and almost like a parent. And depending on your relationship, you can use that relationship strength to have people that you just tell them this is what you need to do, and they'll do it. And then there's others where you got to cultivate that relationship and you got to grow that relationship. Whether we can do enrollments or whatever on our own is one thing, but following up and onboarding people is totally separate. And that's why I developed that application. That's why I worked with my developer so that we could have an application that does it all for us, that all we do is give someone a web link, website link, and they go on and they click on that and they sign up. And they sign up for the 7-day free trial. They sign up for the $20 a month. the $200 a year or the $300 lifetime. And they're set to go. If they just do a free trial, every single person we sign up just as a free trial, they're going to be fully onboarded within a week. If they kick at it right away, they're going to be onboarded pretty much within hours. And we try to make it as simple as possible. Look and get overwhelmed when they see, oh, these are all these steps that you've got to take to be able to get going with LifeWave. And then I have a video on there where I pour my heart out to what happens if you don't share until you have your own miracle. Because if that would have been the case, Pat Davis would not have told anyone else about LifeWave, especially in this group, Randy, who shared it with Joe, who shared it with Gracie. And I don't know how many people, probably over 100 or whatever, that are now on her team in only a couple months. If I would have said, you know what, I'm only going to wait and do it and that's the key, if I have a great experience. So if my wife has a great experience, that doesn't count. Well, what do you mean? You know your wife. Yeah, but I know a lot of other people too, and I'm meeting people every single day who have had unbelievable experiences, and I know there's not a whole bunch of liars out there. These are people that you can trust. These are people that I know personally, or these are people that I'm getting to know personally. But if I would have waited for my own miracle, we could just black out this screen right now. And the only one on here would have been my son, probably. Maybe Inga. People that know me. And it's possible with Randy too. But you can see what I'm saying. Maybe Inga. People that know me. And it's possible with Randy too. But you can see what I'm saying, that that's a really, really important piece, and it's built into my application. So when people start out, they hear my heart. What would happen if I would not have shared it until I had my own miracle? And then they're not getting, and I believe that video by itself is powerful. But if I send someone a video like that and it's on an island and it has no context, it's going to look manipulative. Oh, you just want me to sell this thing, and you're trying to, get at me through a back door or whatever. And that's how people will feel. But if it's in the context of of the different things that we're talking about on the videos and everything in For Life Wave, the system, then that doesn't happen. So that's really, really big. And what I'm so passionate about as far as my application is the first thing that happens after they get my welcome video is they get Brittany's 7-minute onboarding video that I use. And she goes in and explains, you got to make sure that you get enough water. What's cool is on the videos that people get daily, I've got my weekly wonders, and I captured those from our calls with Danny and Diane on Sunday nights. And I
Mhm.
did that. So I've got bunches of those videos, and people can watch the video of a child, that's training horses and all this other kind of stuff. Crossland and a number of other people, a teacher that talks about all of their special needs children that have had their lives impacted because of the patches. Our testimonies are on some of those. There's a bunch of Anthony Bakers that are on there. Yeah, Gracie, can you see how this system will help you guys with your onboarding?
Yes, sir. I'm ready
Okay.
to start signing up, and try it so we can start doing things easy for me. I'm very busy like you, every day. So sometimes I just start the talking and then give it to one of my girls so they can sign the people on. But
Yeah.
yes,
And what you'll see, all of you, when you use this application, is when you can click on and you can see. So I've got Josh on, my son, and I can click on Josh's name in my application and I can see that Josh has watched the first video. He's signed up for school. He didn't sign up for Champion Makers for some reason. And I can go in and I can check on all of that stuff. He's watched he said that he wants to talk to a few family members, but he also said he wants to grow a business. Well, then I know that he's going to get the video of Danny talking about, build what's your why, and my building your list, and Joe Navarro's launch. And I can see if those have been watched. And here's the thing, if people check a box and say they've done something, there's nothing we can do to know it. We would have to invest so much money to be able to have a system that would track if they started a video and stopped it and whatever. So there's going to be an honor system here, but they'll only hurt themselves. But the other side of it, which is so cool, you're going to love this, is when you start that free trial, if that's all you do is go through and use the free trial and then don't do anything after that, there is nothing that happens. There's no chain broken or anything because that person's not going to share anyway. So then next, there's nobody else that has to have the system to be able to go. But if someone's using it and they're signing people up, then they just keep giving their link out and the people just signing up over and over and over and over, and everybody gets trained. And
Great.
then on
Awesome.
top of this, we're already talking about, Dr. Duggar and I are talking about setting up some type of like an assistant that will be working for all of us that, we'll pay and have them help make sure that certain things are happening and whatever. Almost, we can train them almost to a customer service level of our own, where you could call that person, say, hey, this is what's been happening with a couple of my people. Can you make some recommendation? And then they can turn to me, to Dr. Duggar, to Randy, to you, to whoever, right? To Josh and several other people. I don't even know who all is on. I can just see a few cameras, but yeah, really, really good. So
Okay, just to remind you, most of my people are Hispanic, and a lot of people don't speak English, so that's something very important for us because we don't approach too many people in English, and the
yep,
software right now it's in English.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And in the application is now, I believe it's 8 languages. And Angela, you'll be happy to know it's in German.
Okay.
So
Oh,
when
German.
you go in, you'll click a tab and it allows you to drop down to find whatever language.
Yes, the customer service you said that will be developed in the future will be a very tremendous help because many a time we focus more on enrollment, brand partners and other customers instead of spending more time, learning the ramifications of the life way. But like you said, if we can get it, somebody to help us, take for instance, you enroll somebody, like Grace you said, it might be in Spanish. You just tell whoever it is, hey, can you help me to enroll this person? Anybody can do it, to enroll this person and stuff like that. I mean, you simplify the enrollment process to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, it's all about onboarding. If people don't get onboarded properly, then we can sign up all the people in the world, but we're not going to grow organically unless we have people really being onboarded. And it's a combination of the automation that my system offers and the personal touch that we can offer, and bringing on an assistant will even add more personal touch.
I think with this system, what it does is it helps us to save time because it allows us to figure out if they are just absolutely not interested in the business, doesn't mean that their mind won't change. But if they're not interested in the business, then we're interested in helping them to, help improve their health and wellness.
I hope everybody's encouraged more than anything.
That will help a lot, for real. Because it's
Good,
a lot of time,
good.
save a lot of time in the process.
And everybody on here is busy at some level, right? Or at some way. And, whether you run a business like we do, several of us on here, our doctor friends, are slammed. And when we can take and turn that into something that makes life easier for everybody, that's been my passion the whole time I've been working on this stuff. I appreciate all of you, and I just want to tell you that I'm here and I'm ready to do three-way calls with you. You want to do three-way calls? Put me to work. And all you got to do is call the person, use the script I have, use the basics of it at least, and then turn around, introduce them to me in a three-way text, introduce them to another leader in a three-way text, set up a three-way call, let the leader do the call, tie it down, get them enrolled, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, duplicate, application, go through the process, enroll, application, go through the process, enroll. And it's the simplest thing in the world. And you never have to wonder, oh no, now what do I do? That's the coolest part about it. And as long as the people use the application, they're going to know what they need to know about using the patches. And if they decide they want to, if they want to share it with people. I appreciate all of you. I really do. I believe we have the best team in the world and it just keeps getting better.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
God bless everyone.